Hello and welcome at Change Talks, the podcast where we talk about change in business and life. And my guest today is Denisa Smejc. Denisa is a professional from HR business, from HR industry with a lifelong career as basically executive HR manager. She's been with big names like Accenture or PPF Group of the tragically deceased Czech billionaire Petr Kellner. And now she's the Global Chief People Officer at Future Life. What is also important to mention is that Denisa is the winner of the Global HR Director Award, Leader of Distinction from the last year, so very fresh appreciation. So we will talk with Denisa about how the HR actually evolved over the last 17 years, how the managers are equipped or not equipped to lead the change, and basically all around that. So Denisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Victor, for having me.
Change Talks, your passport to exciting changes in your business, career, and life. Change Talks, your podcast when it's time to do things differently.
So there's 17 years in HR. That's quite a long career. So I think it's a good question maybe to ask for the beginning how HR evolved over those 17 years. What are the recent trends and changes?
Yeah, surprisingly, I will say that even AI is coming to HR. I remember a time when I started as a recruiter in Accenture and we were recruiting via Yellow Pages. So I'm not sure what the audience is at this moment, but Yellow Pages was the main source of the information where you could find the contact details of people living in the Czech Republic.
So it was basically a phone book.
Exactly, it was phone book. Yeah. I also remember when we were actually hiring Dutch speakers that we came to Dutch Antilles, to some, let's say, small village to supply us with the Dutch speakers to come to Czech Republic. So the times are definitely over. Internet is here. We were actually recruiting via phone, so we have never seen the candidate till the time he appeared in the office, his or her very first day, and there was time to time not a super culture fit because in Accenture there was no permission of having tattoo or wearing leather clothes. So that was a big surprise for us. But now with all the equipment, with all the technology, it's definitely easier. You can see the candidate using camera for several years. So once actually COVID came, I was not surprised because we were hiring through MS Teams or Skype at that moment for like many years. So for me there was actually no change, but at this moment using AI everything is simpler.
And how do you use AI in HR actually?
So I use it very often. It's a great helper, even like when creating an email, or if I have a colleague who likes to send the lengthy email, I'm using the AI for the summarization, for the presentation creation, for the announcement. Like in terms of internal communication, it's a great helper for me.
Mm-hmm. And I think also the candidates actually are using these days AI. So how do you cope with that? Because now you can just open ChatGPT and say, okay, write a great introduction letter or motivation letter, rewrite my CV. How do you deal with that?
I must say that I've got some colleagues in HR field who are actually double checking if the engagement letter was sent or created by AI. I am not doing that. For me, and maybe I will be more honest than that I should, but for me, if a candidate is using AI, it is great because he or she can then concentrate on the real job than on some creation of an email. So I am not double checking that. And if a person if a candidate tell me that he or she is using AI, I'm like more than happy.
That's a very interesting approach because AI is basically storming into the business, right? So it's useless to try to keep it out, saying no, then that's not authentic or whatever. You always have to actually fine tune the outcome of that. And that's where the human element comes into play, right?
Yeah, exactly, Victor. You cannot rely on that. So it's a nice navigator, nice guide, but it's at the end of the day, it's your business card. So you need to feel it that it is actually correct and it is your wording. So of course.
And how do you see the adoption of AI outside HR? Because you are dealing with executive managers. So what's the acceptance level in the business in general? What do you see?
Very nice question. I'm not sure if AI is such a massively used in companies so far. I think that there is still kind of resistance to use the new technology. On the other side, when you show the people how they can use it and how AI can improve their daily life, how actually they can focus on more interesting points, this is actually this is the point where we are getting the buy-in.
You touched, the always interesting topic of the change resistance, yeah? Because AI is a new thing, it's a new technology, new tool, and as always, that means that a lot of people are pushing back. Yeah? So, do you see that the slow acceptance of AI is rather a result of this resistance, or more of not fully understanding what AI can do in business as an advantage?
I would say it's a combination. People are afraid to start using AI because they are actually afraid of losing their job. This is definitely, the sense is definitely there, that if they start using AI, maybe someone actually find out that their job is not
somebody else can do the presentation,
exactly.
Can create the tables, etc. Okay.
Exactly. On the other side, definitely understanding and getting used to that. I think it's about like starting to play with that, because at first point, most probably you will not get the result that you would need, and you would need to spend some time with that. But the time that you are investing in AI and let's say trying to teach even your wording, your style of communication, it will definitely pay off within the time. But it's about time. It's a matter of time and matter of prioritization. So for me, I would rather spend an hour with fine-tuning the presentation with AI than to actually spend more hours by creation, because next time it will be time will be exactly the time will be decreased.
Yeah. So I think ahead of us are a lot of projects in the companies, in the business to implement AI, right? And I always go back to the famous statistics and study survey that was done by IBM and by one consultation company. I now don't remember which one, doesn't matter. Basically, the outcome was that 70% of the change projects, of the change initiatives fail. And one of the biggest reasons is that 60% of top managers admit that actually they do not have the right skill set to manage the change. So, what's your observation? Does it fit? This 60% lacking the skill set. What's the situation that you have been able to observe in the companies?
I would say it's a mixture. It's actually the resistant to change because they are afraid of having or seeing something new, first point. Second one, it's not like great understanding of the change. And third one is definitely like leadership is like skill, right? You need to train it. So you are not born to become parents. You are not born to become a leader. Not everyone would like to be a leader. Not everyone should be a leader. But at the end of the day, everything is trainable.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. So, do you see that actually the managers want to be trained in leadership, or do they say, no, I'm good. Yeah, I'm the best one. I don't need to develop anymore.
Yeah, Victor, I would say option number 2 is right. So they actually do not admit that they would need training in something that is kind of simple for them. But at the end of the day, once they are trained, they are very happy about it, and the team is actually more satisfied.
That's kind of schizophrenia, isn't it? Because and I see it every day. Yeah, when I'm meeting some executives and they say, "No, everything is fine. We are running this change project. Everything is smooth." And then you do the mapping, you talk to the people, like, especially the middle managers, and they realize that there is a complete mismatch, basically, right? And still, like, the people are strong believers that everything is fine, that there is no need to develop that kind of skill set, right? What do you think would be like the recommendation, the tip to the leaders who are listening to us, to have like a good self-awareness basically on this area?
I would say talk to your people. So try to get the feedback from your team. Try to be honest and communicate very openly and transparently, even your decision or the reason for change. Mm-hmm. So the communication, in my point of view, is the key.
Yeah. So but the openness to the communication,
yeah,
basically, right? And then also, I think it's about the capability to accept what the people tell you, right? Very, very frequent reaction is rejection. No, that's not true. Yeah, you just misunderstood our project, dear employee, or something like that, right? So when people are honest with you, and when they tell you something, what is crucial is just to accept it. Yeah, you may not always agree, but just don't try to educate that person, because otherwise the next time you will hear nothing honest.
Yeah, that's the other side of the story. When you are asking, be prepared for the answer, and the answer could be super honest, super candid. So it's on you how you will accept it. Time to time, it pays off, and you are only silent and only accept the feedback. Because what I see, the feedback is a gift. It's a gift from the people that they care and that they would like to change something.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, so it's important not to get this away from the people very early in the process, right? Like, to steal their motivation.
And not to come to justification, right?
Yes, exactly. So you just said that leadership or change management skill set is skill set just like any other kind of skill set, right? Now, how important is for you or for the recruiting managers, as you see now, to have candidates who are well equipped with this skill set? Are you looking for that, like, actively? Are you somehow, like, questioning the candidates, how good they are in change management, or what role plays basically this kind of skill set in the recruitment process?
Well, I would say it depends on the role. If we are hiring an analyst, we are definitely looking for the potential to become a leader. So that's one point. On the other side, and I'm very happy to say that, because it was not in the past, that at this moment we are very much looking into the leadership skills. Not only the skill set as such, to do the role, but also to lead the team. This is very important, especially when we are now working in healthcare. It's definitely important. So we've got doctors, but even before I worked in IT, so we've got super great IT specialists that become a leader, but he was not happy and the team was not happy. At this moment, even in the medical services, it's I would say even more important, because not every doctor would like to lead other doctors, right? So you need to have some kind of, I would say, talent for that, or a training for that, but definitely approach.
Yeah, approach or attitude. That's a big topic, right? Because it's always like about balancing the performance of that person and the attitude. How actually you see the hiring managers to pay attention to that? What is more important? Okay, not to you, because I think you know the answer, right? Because you are HR. But I'm interested to discuss how the people, how the leaders, how the managers, when they are looking for a person to their teams, how they are actually looking for this kind of balance. Are they looking more for experience and performance, or more for attitude?
I would say, and I dare to say, that it depends on personality. So some managers definitely understand that leadership is a skill that we are looking for as well. But majority of the leaders are looking for very skilled professionals, and the leadership is kind of aside.
That's very common pattern, and I was kind of expecting to get this to get this answer, but I have to ask this this kind of question. Yeah? To me, it's always surprising, actually, that when, for example, you have team of product managers, and you are recruiting a new one, then if you just recruit a person who's been doing that for 10 years, what kind of innovation, what kind of fresh view you are going to get, right? Basically, you will end up with just copying what has been done there, etc. Yeah? So I think the lesson or tip for the leaders is always make sure that you balance these two things. And sometimes I would say it's actually attitude more important than the hard skills or experience, because you can build that unless you are maybe building the rocket and you are in a need of some rocket engineer, but that's not usually how the business and how the real world actually looks like, right? So,
and you mentioned that, Victor, because I'm a great believer of one point. Everything is trainable except from the approach. So you cannot train the approach or the attitude. If someone is negative or actually toxic, you cannot change it. Other than that, everything is trainable.
Yeah. So
for me, when I'm actually hiring for my team, I'm more looking for the potential and for the right attitude than the skills.
Mm-hmm. What is actually then your kind of power, let's say, as HR in the recruiting process? If, let's say, imagine a situation that there is a manager who wants to recruit a certain person with super experience and super technical skill set, but you seriously doubt that the attitude is there, that the values are in line with the company. So what do you do? How do you persuade that stubborn manager?
I've got 2 points on that. And I'm not sure if I should say it, but I will say it. As the recruiter is the first contact with the candidate, he or she should actually evaluate if the person is a great fit for the role. Meaning, if there is lack of leadership and we are looking for a great leader, most probably this recruiter should think twice if this person should actually come to the second round of the interview. So at the end of the day,
so
we can influence
the filter
it
at the very
bit.
beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the second comment is definitely training. If the person is great in skill set, but there is a potential for becoming a leader, start developing the person immediately. Mm-hmm. I remember the times even in PPF, but even in Accenture, when we had first time manager training. So it was great. It was for the people who became managers for their first time, but also for the key talents or potentials. And then you are building and training the skill within the time. And once the time comes that the person is promoted, he or she is ready.
Okay. So basically, the skills are teachable. The attitude is kind of given. So the next question is slightly connected to that, which is the change of the career. Okay? When somebody wants to change his or her career, usually it's very difficult because that person is very good and very skilled in a certain area. And I don't know what, I was talking about product management. Okay, so let's stick to that in product management. But if that person wants to switch careers to, I don't know what, marketing or HR maybe, yeah, I realize, okay, HR is my dream. It's very difficult because there may be the attitude, but not the skill set. And what would be the recommendation to people if they want to do this kind of switch? How to do that? How to persuade the hiring managers that they are actually a good fit, even though they don't have the hard skills?
First of all, I feel that these people are super brave because they are switching the career. You said it. So they are super skilled at one discipline, but then they are starting to be at the beginning of their career. Likewise. Again, exactly. So for me, they are super brave. If you would like to do it, please do it. persuade the manager or the hiring manager or the recruiter that you are capable of that, because at this moment we are also, as I said, hiring for potential. I've got an HR business partner at my time in PPF group, and she was not working in HR, so for her whole life she was on a business side. But for me it was giving her the chance. So that's one point. So hiring managers, please open your mind and give the chance to these people. And second one, she was a great complementary to my team, because I've got a team full of HR skilled people, but do they know how the business is doing? Most probably not so far as this person. So for me, it's actually to have the open mind and to see the other side of the coin.
But that's like, the tip more for the recruiting managers, like, to be open-minded and give a chance to these people, which I fully support. Now, what kind of tip and recommendation would be, like, for those who are actually willing to change the career? Can they somehow prepare for that? Is there any kind of trick, how to bypass this resistance on the receiving side?
I would say link your expertise to the new discipline. If you are actually switching, for example, as I said, from business to HR, tell the hiring manager that you've got the experience, you have seen how it was done, maybe how it was not done properly because it was not meeting your business needs. Tell them how you think that it should be done. So I think it's everything is about right communication and even unfortunately about selling yourself.
So prepare the ground slowly by gradually pointing out, like, the elements of your skills or of your career that are in line with the new path, with the ladder where you want actually to jump on, right?
Exactly.
Okay, good. Now, this change of the career usually happens when people are quite, let's say, bored, with their current jobs, with their current career path. Now, this boredom could be one sign of the very dangerous thing, which is the burnout. And we touched this topic in the last episodes of Change Talks with some other guests. So. And you are from HR, so I think we have to touch it as well, right? So, sure. Do you see people, top executives, suffering the burnout? Is it more frequent than before? What's your observation?
Yeah, I would say so. Even the time is accelerating. The hours in the office are accelerating. Even though we have home office, I actually do not believe that the people who have it inside, meaning the high sense of responsibility, that they are working less on home office. Time to time, it's even more. And from HR perspective, and also from manager point of view, we should actually be aware of that. Meaning we should know that, we should look for the signs, and we should step in even before the person is totally burnout. For me, when actually if the person is actually doing some mistakes, I'm asking why. Like, meaning why there is a mistake, but actually what is happening? Are you okay? Is your family okay? Because you never know. And this care actually is very important to show as well, and to step in and somehow, I don't want to say to avoid burnout, because time to time it's very, very like slow and not noticeable. But at the end of the day, and we are coming back to the leadership, they should notice. They should notice that something is happening. But yes, it's actually very common.
What are the typical symptoms to look for? Yeah, because you said, the problem with burnout is it's gradual. Yeah, it's like Apache. Yeah, it sneaks silently but then kills. Yeah. So what symptoms to look for?
I would say like first sign is that when the passionate people are becoming silent.
So change in
exactly,
like
change
mood,
in behavior, in mood, in stress resistance. Time to time, it is, or very often, not time to, but really, it's often connected with making mistakes, with complaining, or as I said, like these people are super silent. So if you had someone who was very passionate and very open to discuss, and at the end of the day he's not talking too much. Try to find out why.
Yeah. What would you recommend then as a solution, as some sort of treatment? Okay, so when you have a person on your team and you realize these symptoms, and you talk to that person and you may confirm, okay, that really seems like a burnout. So what to do next?
I think not maybe the only solution, but one of the solutions could be to take time off. Meaning he or she really needs to take a rest, really
career
needs
break,
to, exactly,
right?
career break or vacation, but like longer than a week, and spend some time with people that they love, with something that they love. Or time to time, unfortunately, it's not even like career break, meaning that he or she comes back to your role again, but that they need more time and they will actually never come back.
What you when this person comes back after the burnout, any kind of recommendations how to treat that person? Because maybe the beginning should be slow, because I think even if the person says, okay, I will take 3 months off, to get back into the shape, maybe everything it can improve. But then when you put that person in the same environment, in the same job, you put the same people around, the same problems, it could then fall back again, right? So would you then rather recommend this career change, switch of the roles, trying something completely new, completely different? What's your kind of take on that?
This is what I meant by never come back, meaning that they never come back either to the company because they feel that they really need to have change of the environment as such, not only change of the team. But time to time they never come back to the team because, as you said, after that when they come back, everything falls down and they are back to have the burnout. So, and even like from the company point of view, not every company can deserve it, right? To have like 3 months or someone 3 months off and have no one actually performing the job. So for me, it's great to keep the discussion within the time the person is off, definitely to give him space. But after some time, come back to him, talk to him what he would need. And if he was a great potential or great performer, let's find a way. So I think that when there is a will, there is a way. So let's work on that.
Yeah, so true, yeah, because I think we should be in the first place human, right? And if there was a person who was a great performer, because that's usually how it happens, usually it happens to high performance, to high performing people. So then that person deserves certain kind of, gratefulness and to act accordingly.
Yeah, because the burnout was caused by such a high workload, right?
Yeah,
so I think
pressure
that the company should actually give something back to the person.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, you said that you see the burnout more frequently than ever. What do you think is causing that? What is behind this much higher frequency?
I would say lack of people who are willing to do the job, like first point. Second point is that if you show that you are capable, time to time the manager gives you more and more work, and you are in a vicious circle again. I would say it's also kind of like will to succeed, to show that you are the best in the team. And the last point, I would say the time at this moment, meaning like the period of time where we are at this moment, everything is accelerating, everything is super quick.
So how to protect ourselves? Yeah? If you are top manager, executive officer, how to protect yourself from burnout?
I need to smile because everyone is saying work-life balance. So I'm maybe not the right person. But definitely try to find out some activity where you can relax. It could be even going to the gym. It could be going for a walk with your dog, spend the time with your family. But really do something when your mind could be super switch off. Could be meditation even. And when you do not have to think about job.
Yeah. But it needs to be intentional, right? I think that's the key element here. That I think I say, because I'm also meeting a lot of people recently who are suffering with burnout, and they are entrepreneurs, they are corporate managers, and one of the key elements is, as you say, they need to find or refine again the balance between work and life, and they need to do that intentionally. Especially entrepreneurs, for them is very easy actually not to distinguish, not to draw the line between the working time and the family time. They work from home or they have office within their house, so they are always kind of in the office in a sense, and to make the distinction. Okay, now it's it's 6 o'clock in the evening, and now I close down my laptop and I stop working and start with my hobbies, family time, whatever, is a decision that you must do. Kind of intentionally, willingly, you must be aware of that, of the decision, and to learn to develop this kind of skill set, let's say, to switch from work to family time or whatever, is for the prevention.
I need to smile because I remember the time in Accenture when I started my career. I was working really hard, like more than 12 hours in a week, and then I was also studying the university. And what helped me was that I actually got the dog, meaning that I need to stop work actually at 5, go home for having dog to have a walk, and then actually I was again start working. But for me, like the pause was great because you can actually definitely change your mindset, think about something else. And one comment that I wanted to mention, and I need to smile because I was a great believer of having very straight line between work and private life, and now everything blurred. So with my current personal situation, everyone knows, and it's not like that I'm stopping the work and my personal life begins, but actually it comes through my working day every single day. And it works as well.
You nicely bridged, because that was one of my questions to come. Talking about this difference, this line, because you made quite a bold move recently, right? Because you, as a fresh mother of a newborn baby, you decided to switch the job and start a job with a new company, right?
Exactly.
So how does it go, basically? Very open question.
yeah, and I will be open as well. For me, everything was kind of unexpected. Even though the baby was super planned, I was surprised that I'm pregnant, so I couldn't believe it till, let's say, giving the birth. Even though in my previous company we agreed on some terms, unfortunately the situation has changed, and again unexpectedly in my 9 months pregnancy, literally 2 weeks before giving the labor to my first kid, the offer for a new company came. And I haven't hesitated because Future Life is a great company. We've got clinics and hospitals, and the clinics are actually focusing on reproductive medicine, meaning IVF mainly. So our, let's say, product is a baby. So for me, I've got really, really belonging to the company. So it was unique opportunity. And now I'm so sorry to everyone who is hearing that and actually do not fully agree with me. But I came back, actually never stopped working, by the way. And literally, I came back to full-time role when my son had 3 weeks. I've got a nanny. I've got great support of my partner. Is it hard? Yes, it's kind of bloody hard to actually leave him. Then I am seeing him every 3 hours for actually feeding. Am I exhausted? Am I tired? Yes, I am. But it was actually my decision, and I think that if you decide, you should actually go for that. So, as I said, everyone knows in the office because even there was an announcement of me to every single company because we have clinics not only in the Czech Republic but also spread in Europe. So everyone knows, everyone is asking me how am I. So it's for me kind of super different approach because I was maybe working too long in dysfunctional teams. So at this moment I'm kind of surprised how people could be super supportive and no one cares. So even last week we had the extended executive meeting because I am part of the board and we have also general managers from clinics from Europe here in the Czech Republic. And because it's a bit challenging to plan when the baby will be hungry, I actually got the bottle with milk and I was giving him the milk within the presentation. So there was my lovely colleague from marketing presenting something and I was like on the spot, like in the room. And when she was actually asking whenever someone has the comment, Jamie, that's my son, was like, wow. So I said maybe he has the opinion. So I'm starting to my actually new stage of my, I don't want to say career, but of my life definitely.
Yeah. Well, what you say is very interesting because what it means basically if there is a will, okay, you can always find a way how to do that. Yeah? Even this very traditional thing, having a baby. Yeah, the traditional approach is okay, stay home and nurture the baby, right? You decided differently, which of course meant some adjustments, right? But if you think about okay, what needs to be done, and you are able to arrange and rearrange your life, private life, and working life, that's good. And also, if the company is actually supporting that, it's so. I think it always boils down a little bit like that if the culture in the company is a healthy culture, then almost anything is possible, right?
Exactly.
But if the culture is toxic, then even the home office is a problem, right?
But it's again giving the opportunity. So meaning when I was discussing within my interviews with the managing partners of CVC or Hartenberg, which is great investment companies, they were asking me, why are you still talking to us? And I revert the same. Why are you still talking to me? I'm in my 9 months pregnancy. I don't know what will happen, right? So again, it's about like open mind, giving the chance to people see the potential and go for that.
What were the biggest changes, let's say, that you had to do? I'm really interested in maybe some mothers are also listening to us, and this could be inspirational for them. So, what are some key observations and lessons, let's say, from this setup?
I would say, but I thought that I am good in prioritization and time planning, but with the baby it's even impossible because you never know when he's hungry, right? So you are starting to count 3 hours in a time when he wakes up at night. So I never know when I need to have a break. So definitely time planning is a challenge. Definitely I'm super lucky because I've got the support, as I said, of my partner and the nanny and the company as such as well, because no one cares actually. I'm like to smile. And at the end of the day, but you need to know when to stop. So this is something I need to remind myself because I am a highly responsible person. So I'm trying to check my emails even within the evening. but now I'm trying not to do so. So when he's sleeping, I do it, but when he wakes up, I'm like 100 with him. So that's something that I am actually not super exhausted from the day, because I have never seen anyone, I have not talked to anyone, like usual mothers are kind of feeling in a dark, let's say, or like alone. I do not have it, but at the end of the day, I'm with him 100%.
Mm-hmm. That's so powerful, yeah. To be really present.
Exactly.
Because so many times, people are with the family, kind of, but they are still checking on the working mailbox. They are responding to emails. They are picking up the phone calls, and they never really leave, let's say, the work, and they are never really 100% present with their friends, with their family, and then we are kind of back to discussion about the burnout, right? To having this kind of this distinction, and I think that just maybe 1 hour of a time that is really 100% spent with your kids is more valuable than, I don't know, 6 hours with just mediocre kind of time, and you are on a computer or on a phone doing something, and you are just kind of supervising what they are doing, or so on. So to have this kind of focus, concentration is very important. I think in this high intensity career and having such a small baby, right?
That's very true. Time to time, I forgot about it. So I've got my phone in my hand, but he actually reminds me, meaning that he starts to scream. He doesn't want to be alone. So when he wakes up in the evening or in the afternoon when we are at home, he reminds me that he is there as well.
Yeah. Now we talked about your personal story with a baby. Now, what about the general attitude to fresh mothers? You've been 17 years in HR management. Do you now observe any kind of change? How the managers, how the companies change their behavior, their approach to fresh mothers? Is there any improvement actually?
I would say that my story is still super unique. That I actually was even just right before giving the labor. So it's super unique. I was not working in the company for some time, and then I got pregnant because they know how we are performing. Or I was not getting, I was not actually having the kid and then start working. So for me, it was super unique. To your question, I think that there are still biases, and I'm so sorry to say that the even young ladies who would like to have the kids, or if there are actually moms who would like to come back, I would, and I dare to say 2 points. The government actually is not super supportive, meaning that there are no support for giving the kid to some institution or whatever. It starts when your kid is actually 10 months as the earliest date. So not such a support. So you need to actually find your private solution. And in terms of the managers, they still believe that if the kid is sick, the person actually will not working. On the other side, I strongly recommend, please start hiring and give the chance to even fresh moms or to moms overall, because they are the great performers. They are not going to work because they would like to chit-chat with someone. They do not have time for that. They will be super efficient. They will be super grateful that they have the job. And at the end of the day, they will do the job for, let's say, even 2. So try to find a way, try to hire them for part-time, try to give them the space, try to provide them with home office, because at the end of the day, they need to have the care somehow solved. So you cannot actually be with the baby and work at the same time. You cannot. Maybe one day you can try to let's say, pretend that you are working, but not the whole career or the whole life. So please give the chance to these moms or even parents. I don't want to say only moms, but also dads.
Great insight, really, and I can confirm that from my own experience or what I've seen, that really the mothers they are really good performers, as you say, because they need to get the thing done within the working hours. And they don't go to the work just to have a good time. Really, they go there because they have some other motivation. And yes, it can happen that sometimes the kid is sick and so on. But actually, they always try to find a way how to complete the work, how to complete the task. And it's actually unbelievable if you think about it, because it means that then they work maybe during the night to make things done. That's really incredible, and I think the managers should really kind of recognize that and not to kind of punish these young mothers by saying, okay, I don't want young mothers on my team. It's going to be complicated. It's going to be difficult, and so on. It's always about how brave you are, and if you are looking for people who want to do the job, who wants to complete the tasks, or just somebody who will be present in the office, right?
Exactly. Again, it's about the attitude as such.
Yeah, and you see, it always turns down to the very basics, right? And everything is then just the function of that.
Exactly.
If you have the good attitude and you approach the things from the just human perspective, everything can be done. Everything is possible, and it's not any kind of rocket science.
And again, actually for me, it doesn't matter if the job is done at 9 o'clock, if there is actually no deadline, right? But if the person works actually in the morning or in the evening, for me, if the job is done, this is the main criterion. Not if someone is spending 8 hours in the office, because even in the office, you actually could be kind of relaxed.
Yeah. And still, you have a lot of managers who are managing people by the attendance, right? Okay, so everybody's in the office, fine, so everybody's working, cool. And if my boss comes and asks, okay, what are your guys doing? I can say, oh yeah, everybody's in the office. Yeah, so I have a proof. If they are scattered somewhere around, and then how I can explain, how I can prove that my team is working. So if you are not managing people by performance, obviously you have this kind of problem, right? That's I think why this home office is still not very popular in some companies or with some managers, right? Well, lucky for you that your company has very modern, very fresh look, let's say, and not only on this, but also as we started our conversation about the usage of AI and so on. What other future, let's say, trends or shifts you expect in the HR industry to come in the coming years?
I'm not sure if it's a trend, but I would say that companies are more and more talking about performance, about culture of performance, how to measure the performance, because, and you said it, home office. So there are definitely people who are highly responsible, who actually are working even more harder when they are on home office. But there are definitely people who are actually working less on home office, and they can used to the situation, and I would dare to say that even abuse. In my opinion, it's actually on manager side. So if I have a person who doesn't have such a high workload, so of course the person will use the situation. So it's actually, at the end of the day, it's my mistake that I cannot give such a high workload. But to the trends, I would say performance, how to measure the performance, but with humanity. So you cannot actually only measure how many invoices are done or whatever. It's still done by a human person. On the next point, care. I know it's actually everyone is talking about it, but giving the care, but really that you care about the people. It's something that we should pay off. I'm not sure if it will be a trend. But again, if you have satisfied people, you will have satisfied customers. So that's the clear story. Using AI definitely, because for example, I remember the time when we spent so much time on job advert creation. Now with AI, it's actually after 30 seconds, and you can only fine tuning, and then you can think of the way how you can talk to the people, how you can spend more time with the people.
Actually, touching the AI again, what kind of, let's say, shifts that can cause in the companies? Yeah? So I think some jobs will become redundant,
Exactly.
right? So are companies somehow preparing for that? Do you see any kind of preparatory work, for this? Any thought process, or is it still very, very early?
I would say that we are even late to that, meaning that we could be better, but definitely the resistance is there, and unfortunately I believe that there will be some jobs that will be redundant. But on the other side, these people who did this kind of like manual or admin job could be trained to more capable job. So for me, the switch to do the basics will be done by AI, and then the people could focus on more strategic job would actually be beneficial for all of us. But definitely the resistance is there. I also do know companies when everything is done manually, when they are actually printing out invoices, sending to other city, then they are scanning them, printing them out, scanning them, signing them, sending by post back to the headquarter. So these people are flooded with super admin, but it doesn't have to be.
But for these companies, I think it will be much greater shock than it comes. And I think it's inevitable, because when your competitors are going to use AI, automate these routine tasks using AI, then you will be forced to do that as well. Otherwise, you are completely out of the business.
Yeah.
So either the whole company goes out of the business, or then you need to switch very quickly to this new technology. And then the change of the processes of the culture is going to be much more rapid.
You need to adapt to that, because when there is a competitor who is doing the cold calls, like for the sales and using AI, they will have like 50 people who could be served within an hour. On the other side, if you have a person who is doing it manually, he would do like 3, 5. So you need to catch up the train. Also in our in the PPF group, I remember the times when we had the voice bots. We created the voice bots, and they were calling to people, and you will never even realize that there is artificial intelligence standing behind that. So we also had some cases when people were flirting with the AI because they thought it's a real person. So I think that we are at the beginning now. Most probably you will know that you are talking to AI, but the times are that you will never know, and the threat is there as well with avatars and with all these things that you can do. You need to be cautious as well.
Yeah, I think we are at the beginning of very interesting times. Yeah, because as you say, to distinguish the chatbot, if it's a good chatbot, of course, is quite difficult these days. Combine that with the capabilities to generate realistic images, realistic videos, then you can have very artificial, agents, sales agents, operators at the call centers, etc. And then we kind of humans will be interacting with technology, and that I think will cause interesting shifts in the society, and especially on the labor market. Yeah? And as you say, it's I agree with you, it's quite already late to prepare, to work on this transition. And it's a pity that so many companies are still kind of looking at AI as kind of like, it's some sort of hype and maybe just something that few people in the organization will use, just like, to write better letters, and or in emails, and that's it. So clock is ticking. So AI is gonna be very very big. Not only for the business but for you in HR
exactly.
as well.
My recommendation would be start to play with that. Even start to think about your routine work that you do not like to do. Not only writing emails, but as I said, like PowerPoint creations, or maybe like if you have something that you are doing regularly, try to shoot the video, save it for the next time. For example, in induction, when we are having a new person, we have like definitely onboard induction, meaning that there are real people in a room, but then you can actually show them how to work with the attendance system, for example. It could be a video. It doesn't necessarily need to be a person showing that every single month or twice in a month.
And you can actually automate these kind of tasks even without AI, right? Because if it's a routine, repetitive, then you can use the video instead of just live person doing the same demonstration every month, right? Okay, so I think interesting times definitely are ahead of us. So let's see how AI is going to evolve, and if we still will maybe have another change talk in a year, or just two avatars are going to be sitting facing each other and having interesting conversation. Denisa, thank you so much for being the guest on Change Talks, for the very great discussion and the insights. I think it was again quite different than the previous episodes, because we touched on the HR, on the artificial intelligence, and on your very bold move. So even the topic of the young mothers, which I think is also very very appealing for our audience. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I hope that we haven't lost so many participants on the way, and you have enjoyed. Thank you so much one more time. Pleasure to be here.
Cool. So if you enjoy Change Talks podcast, please don't forget to follow us, give us the 5-star rating, because that helps to get the content to more people who are just like you, interested in change. So have a great day. Until next time, and make the change work.